Now I'm joined by Mary, the narrative designer, narrative creator of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. How does it feel to work on the narrative of a game so heavily driven by narrative?
It's really, really exciting. It's very fun. It's very scary at the same time because we're working in a license that, yeah, as everyone knows, Warren Spector created the original Deus Ex, and it's a much-loved franchise. So kind of being brought on board to take that story and build it up again and bring it forward is super exciting. But the one thing I would also say is that when the whole team is behind the story, it really becomes a pleasure.
Well, I guess that is part of the curse and the blessing of working on the narrative is you do dictate the pace of what basically every other element does. You know, you're the one who's saying we're going to this place and we're doing this thing and this person's going to be there. Like, is that a kind of a two-edged sword? And
one of the philosophies we have is that when you're building a narratively driven game, every aspect of the game is telling the narrative. From the level design to the art to the animations, they're all reflecting that. And the other people on the team are the experts in those things. So our philosophy is I might kind of create the plot and the structure and the plot points, but then we go through a process together where I explain to them, here's what we're doing, but then say the level designer, they'll say, okay, we're dealing with this section of story. We're now building the challenges, and they're coming back and they're countering, and they're bringing new ideas to the table. And some of the ideas they bring are kind of like, well, that's really not going to work, but some of them are like, oh, wow. I never thought of that, and that will make it so much stronger in this vein. So it really isn't me dictating everything. It's really that collaboration.
And I guess that is another area where Deus Ex is different. Like, once it feels, you can guarantee that it's a game, it's very much, it's of that world, but at the same time, the universe is what makes it. Is it hard trying to maintain consistency across a giant universe, a giant expansive, very but filled with small minutiae? It must be difficult to keep that in check.
It is. It's very, very difficult. We're building, one of the things, I'm a real detail-oriented person. When I create a character, I'm creating a backstory for this character that is so elaborate. I know what they had for breakfast on their 10th birthday. Yes. And this is this minutia that exists that either I haven't communicated to other people or I might forget myself, and yet we might have said it in an email somewhere, or we might have done something like that. And not only that, but we're dealing with a universe that, again, we know in the future where it's going, and they had a lot of those details. So one of the biggest challenges narratively for us is to keep track of all those choices and decisions and making sure we're being consistent. And we're constantly going, wait a second, didn't we say this in the last one? And then somebody has to go hunt down that information and find out if we did.
Nice. Well, I guess speaking of decisions, what was the one thing, I guess, in the game that you wish you could have put in, just something that you wish could have made it into the final product?
I want Adam Jensen to have a cat.
All right.
I wanted a cat. We killed his dog in an email in the last one. And actually, in talking with Warren, he was talking about how his wife won't play the games because of killing a dog in the game and how terrible that was. So I wanted to bring a cat. I wanted Adam Jensen to have a cat, but he doesn't yet.
Yet. I like how the person who could potentially give him a cat says yet.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Mary, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.